Hello, my name is Tiffany, and I'm very excited and honored to actually be here giving this testimony video for Cheryl. She has been a very profound and pivotal part of my life for the last 15 years, if not more. And she has, over those 15 years, our relationship has developed from, say, strictly professional in a client coach kind of situation to actually a very deep friendship, and a friendship that I hold very near and dear to my heart. So I'm very excited to be giving this testimony and sharing with all of you how Cheryl has really impacted my life in a very positive and beneficial way. So I met Cheryl 15 years ago, and my mid or late 20s I was in, and I was actually going through a very difficult transition. I was in the middle of a divorce, and I was not navigating that divorce in a very harmonious, very empowered way. So I reached out to Cheryl for some professional help and coaching, and she helped me tremendously through that process. And since then, I have always referred to her and called upon her in her professional help in every major transition and transformation in my life since then. So she has been, I would say, a lighthouse and a very profound guidepost in my life, helping me to navigate difficult situations and to come out on top as a better and more integrated person on the other side of these difficult situations. Cheryl, her coaching method is honestly one of the most unique I've ever come across. It's very multidimensional and multifaceted, I would say. We've never had a coaching session that has resembled a previous coaching session ever. Every single situation that I come to her with, she comes with like a revolutionary approach that we haven't ever encountered before. And so I find that, very mind-blowing, because usually, I've worked with different coaches in the past, and it's kind of been the same basic things, methodologies or practices or techniques or ways of thinking that are implemented regardless of the problem. And with Cheryl, it was like the problem was unique in itself and required a unique set of skills from her, and also required a unique set of tools. So that was really amazing to see. Every single time I've used her for coaching sessions for these major transitions, there was always a unique perspective and a unique set of tools. So she really comes to the table with a sort of revolutionary approach to life coaching and to viewing the world and to viewing, I would say, challenges and problems and overcoming difficult situations in life. And not only that, but she's also has years and years and decades, I would say, of training and certifications and teachings and courses that she's taken in the past. She really is a master of her craft, and she has studied it intensely. And I also love that she not only has studied this stuff and knows it intellectually, but it's also become a part of who she is and her life. Like, she is definitely walking the talk. She is living and breathing what she is coaching. And for me, that was key. That was super, super important for me. And it brought me great comfort and trust in the process, because I knew I was being led and coached by a person who had applied these techniques or teachings in the past and had found success from them. And so I knew that it was a well-trodden path, and that path was going to lead me to success and to healing on the other side. So that was very, very important for me. There are many things that I love about Cheryl, honestly, but today I'm just going to share 3 of them, and hopefully I can get through that rather quickly. So the first thing that Cheryl brings that I personally find very unique and interesting is that she has psychic abilities and intuitive abilities. And this has been very helpful in situations where I felt lost, like situations where I was so clouded by emotions or hurt or pain or suffering that I couldn't see clearly myself. I couldn't see my role in the situation, and I couldn't see the situation from a bigger, broader perspective. I could only see it from my point of pain. And so in those times, I would often ask Cheryl to do like an intuitive reading or a psychic reading about the situation. And every single time she came back with information and intelligence that was really spot on, that was like 100% accurate and exactly what I needed to hear in the situation. And she brings this sort of psychic abilities from something beyond her own personality and her own mind. It's coming definitely from something higher. And that has been very, very helpful in many situations. The second thing that I find very unique about Cheryl is that she is a stickler when it comes to personal responsibility and accountability. And there are times where I absolutely hated that. It didn't sit with me at the time, but that was only because I was, again, feeling deeply hurt and I was in my pain and suffering. And I wanted to blame and shame something outside of me for that painful situation. I didn't want to see it as my own creation and I didn't want to see it as my own responsibility. But she was always, in a very gentle and loving way, leading me back to that truth, which I find to be actually an ultimate truth. And again, there was times I didn't want to hear it and that I was almost angry that I had to take responsibility for the situation that was clearly not my fault. I was very much in this victim and villain mindset, and she would never, ever, ever let me sit there. She would never, like, that would never be the final outcome or something that she would allow me to settle with. And I'm so grateful that she didn't, actually, because in this victim villain mindset, it's very disempowering, and it actually puts your healing and your ability to be happy and your ability to move on in life in someone else's hands. And that feels very desperate and doesn't lead to a good place. So it sometimes took longer than other times to get me to this realization that I am actually the creator of every single situation in my life. But every time I have approached Cheryl about a problem or a transition in my life, and I wanted to blame or shame something outside of me, she always brought me back home, which was home to myself and home to my truth and home to the universal law of truth as well, that we are the master and the creator of our own life. So this was extremely helpful, and it brought me to a place of power, and it also helped me to upgrade myself to the next level, to up level to the next level, and to go where I ultimately desired and wanted to go. So this was another key factor in the coaching, and something that I find unique that Cheryl brings to the table, that has been something that I refer to even outside of our coaching sessions. So I always now, not always, I try to always, I do my very best to really look at life from a more personal responsibility and personal accountability mindset. And it's because of Cheryl that I've been able to do that, and because of her teachings and her coaching. And then lastly, Cheryl is also extremely unbiased, actually. And I find this to be a very rare quality. She really manages to remain very balanced in her perspective and in her coaching. She never takes sides, and she is just kind of just this pillar in this like vertical, stable light that I can refer to, that I know is not going to get swayed by how I'm feeling or the heightened emotions that a situation brings. So this unbiased, sort of detached characteristic quality that Cheryl embraces and brings to the coaching world is really, really special, and something that I highly respect in a coach, and feel that it's very, very necessary and needed and even vital for successful coaching. So that's all I wanted to share. I just want to say that if you have been considering coaching with Cheryl, do not delay, do not hesitate. Take the leap. It will only bring wonderful and amazing things and epiphanies and changes and upgrades to your life. I know it's done that for me. And yeah, it's something that you'll never regret, and it will only enhance the way that you're able to show up in the world and the way that you're able to live and love. So thank you for listening.